Did you know that you were one touchdown away from 100 when you retired?
When I retired, did I know that?
Yeah.
No.
If you would have known that, do you think that would have changed?
Oh, Lord, don't make the whole city of Detroit. The whole city's about to riot.
So this question is coming strictly from our producer, so I'm going to throw that out there. But do you think if you would have known you were one away from 100, you would just
would that change things?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. It's funny because when I first saw that, then I just thought about the few times that runs got called back.
Yeah.
For stupid holding penalties, whatever the case may
I got
be.
you.
Or a lot of times, sometimes they would take me out on goal line situations, and bring in like the heavy package, whatever, So, but no, I don't know that I would have. I probably would not have hung on for another year.
Yeah.
Just because of that, for that very reason. So,
Does that actually?
I think 99 is pretty good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
think it's great.
Rushing touchdown. That's not bad.
That's
not bad.
That's great.
Actually, Roger Goodell, he could have just given me the extra touchdown. You just add it to the record.
He still could. He still can. What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. And with me, as always, is my trusty co-host, Roman Harper. I got no nicknames for you.
Well, I appreciate that. You're being normal, but it's only you're usually fanboying when this next guest is around. But we're all on our best behavior because we got family in the room. So I'll just get through the names. Let's go through it. Go through the resume, which he really doesn't need a lot to explain.
Hall of Fame running back, NFL MVP, Pro Bowler, All-Pro, author, humanitarian, ambassador, businessman. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Barry Sanders to the pod.
Gentlemen.
I could have said so much more, but I'm happy right now because you were my favorite player as a kid. My nickname is Peanut. I'm a little guy. You were a smaller guy. I never played running back, but I just modeled my game after you as a DB or just as a little kid when I used to play, in the yard, in the hood. So I just was like, oh, we got Barry on the show. Like, oh, this is gonna be dope. This is gonna be real dope. So I'm excited. Even though I know you, I'm still excited just to have you on the pod. So this is pretty cool.
Great to be here, man. Great to be here. Glad to know I influenced you in some way.
Absolutely. You influenced so many people. You influenced a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
You are him.
I still call you my favorite running back in the NFL. So,
yes,
me too. And I'll be honest with you. Peanut and I, when we were in Detroit at the draft, Peanut and I are sitting there. We have our two younger kids with us. I had my son. He had his daughter, who's just a year or so older than my son. And, we're sitting out there and we're out on the stage and we're just trying to take it all in. We got our kids with us. We also have some flag football kid that they gave everybody to walk out with.
That they gave everybody.
So I got the spare kid on one side, then I got my son on the other side.
This is true.
Peanut's daughter and Peanut, and then another spare football kid, right? And we're sitting there and we're just taking the videos like what everybody does nowadays. And we look to our right, and it's Barry Sanders, just like from right here. And he's just standing there. And you're being your normal Barry Sanders person, kind of just in the back, not trying to make a scene. Just, I'm out here.
Just chilling.
And we're like, dude, it's Barry Sanders. And my son goes crazy because he'd actually just watched your Amazon special, the Run Barry, what was it called? The Bye Bye Barry.
Bye Bye Barry. Yeah.
Bye Bye Barry. And it was just really, really cool because my son just figured out who you were and he flipped out. That was his highlight. We went back, he showed the video to all of his kids in his first grade class. And so you have not only influenced us, but you've also influenced a whole nother generation of younger people as well by just being you, which is just a humble person. You came over, took a picture, and was just like, yeah, man, just acting so nice. So I appreciate you.
My daughter had no idea who you were, but I was thankful that you came and gave us the picture. It was cool. I was like, do you know who that is? She was like, no, Dad, I don't know. And I was looking at her, I was like, that's Barry. I was like, I know.
Yeah, my son was going crazy. So, yeah, man, I appreciate that. So thank you for
such
being
a great
here.
Event, too, in Detroit. With just the many hundreds of thousands of people.
It might have been the best draft. I mean,
no arguments from me.
It might have been the best draft. I didn't think Detroit was going to show up and show out like that. Y'all came through.
We know how to do it, man.
In a great way. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
It was great. I thought it was awesome for the city. I thought it was great for the league, like the town, all the little businesses. Like, it was amazing.
No,
it was amazing.
Let's also be honest. There was no crime as well. Nothing bad happened.
Nothing.
And when nothing bad happens, we can come back.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, that's
especially
important.
with that many people gathering downtown Detroit. You know, when I first got there in the late '80s, you could not have said that. You know, so yeah, we're people are still talking about the draft, and hey, anytime they want to come back, we'll accept them with open arms. But yeah, it was
well, I
great
think
time.
you got the
and it was great
commissioner's
seeing
number.
you guys there too.
It was
Thank
a good
you.
time.
Seeing you guys.
Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thank you. All right, Barry. Our first real question is, why did you choose number 20? We're going around. We want to know because you wore 21 at Oklahoma State. Why'd you pick number 20 at Detroit?
I picked number 20. Excuse me. When I got to Detroit, Coach Fonts was the head coach, and he had because all of us were familiar with Billy Sims, who had recently played for the Lions, who wore number 20, and he said, Coach Fonts was like, "Well, I want to put you in Billy Sims' number." And me growing up being a big fan of Billy Sims at the University of Oklahoma, then I was like, absolutely, yeah, I'll wear Billy Sims' number. Plus, there was a I think someone had 21. It was an older guy who already had 21. But for me, it was an absolute privilege. I knew that obviously, like I said, I was very familiar with Billy, and for me, it was no pressure at all. It's like, hey, look, I love to wear number 20, so that's kind of how it happened.
Coach gave it to him.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Did you have a welcome to the NFL moment? I know we all are humbled when we get to this next level. What was your humbling moment when you got to the league?
I think my welcome to the NFL moment, I feel like I maybe had several of them, but I think going my second week, we played at the Meadowlands against the Giants. and just going up against, LT and Carl Banks, and Harry Carsons and Bill Parcells being on the sideline, Bill Belichick being defense coordinator. And the competition level was so much different than I had ever seen or experienced. And I just had that feeling like, wow, we're so outmatched right now. We don't belong in the same field with those guys.
Right.
Honestly, that's just how it felt.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I would think that would have been my welcome to the NFL moment. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, I was always aware of like where LT was.
He was everywhere.
Absolutely, he was everywhere, and we couldn't block him. But I'm sure he got me a few times, whatever. But I would say for me that was like just being in the Meadowlands, being in that game, and just realizing, wow, okay, this is a different deal.
What was the hardest hit you took? Where you got up? Because normally you're the shifty guy, not getting hit, moving around, doing your thing. What was that one hit like where you was like, yeah, dang, like did you not, line, come on, block this guy. Was there that one hit where you was like, WTF?
Well, I know that game in particular, I remember getting the wind knocked out of me. And it wasn't LT, it was a deep DB.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You like that, right?
Yeah, it's
DB. You almost like gave it applause, like yes, I love it, but I remember that happened. But you mean just like throughout my career, the hardest hit?
I'll just say your hardest hit. Yeah, your hardest hit.
Wow.
Where you made you think twice.
I feel like you always take hard hits. I mean, it happens all the time. But I would say the hardest hit would probably be, a blitzing linebacker or lineman.
And you had to block him.
Blitz pick
no
up.
momentum. Blitz got to wait and take it.
Yeah,
it was never when I had the ball.
Because, you guys knew that, they pretty much knew that's not his favorite thing. To pick it up. Picking up the blitz. So we're gonna blitz all the linebackers at this guy. So but yeah, I mean, obviously when I'm carrying the ball, I feel like when I'm when you have the ball, when you're carrying the ball, you almost expect it, right?
Right.
You expect it, you brace for it most of the times, and then sometimes obviously you can avoid it. But yeah, so it's too many to remember like the hardest one. And I played against so many great defensive players.
Yeah.
But
so blitz pickups were the hardest.
Blitz
hardest
pickup
okay.
was the hardest hit.
I think we can put that.
I can
in.
totally
Yeah.
see
I
that.
totally
Can you see that?
Yeah, I
That
could
was
totally
completely
see
unexpected,
that.
right? You
Because
didn't
you're just
expect
kind of
me to
sitting
say
there
that.
waiting for it. You're just
makes
like,
all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Yes. Versus Barry Sanders. When they keep him in on third down, we are blitzing, so then he doesn't get the ball. Makes all the sense in the world.
Absolutely.
All the sense in the world.
Did you think about returning punts or kicks when you got to the league? Or did you try
I would have loved to. Yeah, I would have loved to because that's what I did in college.
Yeah, absolutely. You're
right?
great
That's
at
what
it.
I did in college. And I felt like I'm not gonna say it's easier to score from returning punts and kickoffs, but there's so much wide open space, right? And you make that one move, whatever, you hit that one crease, and you can take it the distance. So I thought about it. I just think Coach Fonts, he wasn't. He knew. Obviously, there's the risk side of it.
Was that conversation ever discussed, or
not really?
Did you go? Okay,
not really. I never went over and like lobbied for
Right.
it or anything like that. So it never really happened. But I would have definitely done that. I would have been glad to do it.
I'm shocked that this conversation never came up. Like, you were so good at punt return and everything else in college.
We had some guys though. We had this guy named Mel Gray.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
We had this
about
guy named
that.
Mel Gray.
Yeah, he was a great
And
one
Mel
too.
was
I
like
forget
half
about
my
that.
size, right? He was half my size, but he would just run up in there. Sometimes he would literally just get knocked out. He had no fear. Now I wasn't like that. I'd run in there, kind of tippy toes.
You had some
whatever.
common sense.
Mel Gray, great return guy.
No fear.
I forgot about Mel Gray.
Yeah,
Played
Mel.
with him on the game too.
Yeah. Oh, you said you played with Mel?
On the game.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
He was number 23, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Lil, really guy, but had a lot of great years as like a receiver, returner. But,
Yes.
But with Mel Gray there, then he was the guy for that. So.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear this answer. And, I'm not going to say you don't have one yet. But out of all the accolades that you've won, which one do you probably put at the top of the list?
Because it's a lot.
Out of all the accolades, I think about the Heisman.
Oh, yeah.
Just because of growing up, watching.
It's the most prestigious.
Watching Tony Dorsett win the Heisman, Vinny Testaverde and Mike Rozier, Earl Campbell, Herschel Walker. Just being there, being that kid. Just with my dad. Who's a huge football fan, and just it just seemed like there was nothing that was any bigger than that. And for me, it was one of those things that just changed so many things. Like that moment I won the Heisman, then so many things changed. Like just being instantly like recognized, and being sort of like officially put onto like the football map for to football fans and for the football world. It's not obviously the Hall of Fame is the NFL Hall of Fame is such an elite, precious honor and award. But for me, I guess it all started with the Heisman.
Yeah.
And I hate to have to choose one.
It's my fault. It's my fault.
Yeah, I'll blame you for that one.
Yeah,
I'll
blame
blame
me.
you.
You
Yeah.
backpedaling a little bit. I like it though. This is a good question.
But you still, still get to do all the Heisman House stuff. You guys look, you have a ton of fun.
It looks like a blast.
And it looks very fun. You guys do a great job of doing all those things, all the good running backs and other players that you guys from just all the different paths. So I love that you chose that because the Heisman is one of the most.
And we're all great actors.
Yeah. Oh, the acting is A+.
Hilarious. It's just y'all having fun. I think that's the beauty of those commercials because it's acting, but y'all aren't acting. Y'all are just y'all selves with like one or two words, but y'all are just having fun.
It's also our heroes that we've seen grow up.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
From, oh my gosh, the Archie Griffith.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
To to all of a sudden we see Mark Ingram. to all of a sudden Reggie being back in the house now.
Reggie,
I like Reggie.
Reggie's back.
Yeah.
So, you know, like
Everyone always loves seeing Tim Tebow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tim Tebow. They love Tim. They love some
Everybody
Timmy.
loves him.
You know what I mean? So it's like all of these things, the way that it continues to evolve. So
You're gonna
I
like
appreciate-
this one this year.
Okay,
You're gonna like
okay,
it.
okay.
You're gonna like this one.
Okay. All right, good.
What comes to mind when people call you the GOAT of running backs? Like, what's the first thought that comes to mind when you hear that?
When I hear it, I think about Jim Brown, right? I also think about just, I guess, a lot of those guys that you know I looked up to growing up watching the game.
Who's your guy? Who'd you look up to?
I mean, the first guy would have been, you know, number 32, Buffalo Bills. But, you know, and then Marcus came along.
Yeah.
Right? Marcus came along. But at USC, there were, even before Marcus, there was Charles White. You know, he didn't have a great NFL career. Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
You know, but if I had to choose one all time, you know, I think Tony Dorsett. Because I remember him at the University of Pittsburgh. I was 8, 9 years old. And it was something about him. I knew that he wasn't very big, right? And I knew that, you know, that was really like the very beginning of my sort of organized football career. And I knew I was kind of smaller of stature. And just the way he dominated the game. They were always on TV. I guess he won the 76, 77 Heisman, or whatever year that was. But that had a big impact on my career as just a young football player. Like, okay, look at this guy out here. I don't know how big he is, but I know he's not very big, and he's playing the game. And he's the most dominant player out there. But then there was, you know, but I mean, guys like, you know, Joe Morris, you know, who really at those formative years, like right before I came into the NFL, I knew, okay, Joe's not very big, and he's a terrific running back, or you know, Greg Pruitt, Terry Metcalf. I mean, there was so many guys that I just love to watch, and just I would almost say I just studied them, like, you know, look at the movements, because it almost, and really Marcus, the way Marcus moved. You know, just so fluid, right? And he never took a solid shot. He wasn't the fastest guy, but he had that just terrific game speed. And then just seeing him go from USC going to the Raiders, that was my favorite team. So Marcus had a big influence on me.
So how was it when you met those guys?
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, you know, Marcus I think he was the first guy in college run for 2000. And the first time I would have been in Marcus's presence would have been, I think, 1991. The Lions played the Raiders on Monday night. He was going through the whole thing with Al Davis, because Bo had taken over then. Okay, but I knew Marcus Allen was on the sideline over there watching, and I tried to show out. You know, I absolutely tried to show out, and it was a great game. It was kind of like, you know, Barry versus Bo type thing. You know, But yeah, for me it was a real treat, you know, just meeting, you know, Marcus. And then when I met Tony Dorsett, I think the first time I met Tony would have been maybe at my Hall of Fame ceremony. Okay. And he was kind enough to stop by and had a few moments with him. But yeah, but there's so many guys that I just really followed, but those are just a few, you know.
So what is Barry Sanders? What is Barry Sanders' reactions when he meets like a Tony Dorsett? Because like I know our reactions when others meet Barry Sanders, but what is Barry Sanders' reaction when he meets somebody he looked up to and was like, oh my gosh, like it's Tony Dorsett?
Well, I tried my best not to make him uncomfortable.
Right. You know what I mean? Okay. Good advice.
Yeah. Try not to make him uncomfortable, and you know, try not to go up and grab, you know, hug him or whatever it is. You know, but yeah, I think I'm normally just, you know, pretty cordial, but excited. Yeah. You know, and I may rattle off a few stats from childhood that I remember watching these guys play or something like that.
Kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we're doing. So when for your Hall of Fame ceremony, who put your coat on? Who did you pick to help you put your coat on?
Who put my coat on? Was my dad put my coat on?
Okay.
Right? He did. My dad did my speech.
No. I'm talking about at the dinner. Do they not do that at the dinner?
I don't even who put my. I don't.
Oh, they didn't do that back
didn't?
then.
Oh,
Okay.
In 04? I'm not sure.
Okay. Disregard.
I should know that. Yeah.
would-
You don't think they did it back then? Okay.
I want to know about the growth of the legacy of Barry Sanders since retirement. How has it changed, especially since you're more in the public eye now? I mean, you have an Amazon special. I told you, my son knows Barry Sanders, not because he played with you in a video game, not because he watched you on TV, but because he learned about you from a documentary. And that we all remember Barry Sanders just walking away from the game, kind of going into exile, and we just wanted more. And now that you're giving us more of Barry Sanders' life, like, how has the legend of Barry Sanders probably grown throughout this journey?
Yes, it's been interesting because, I mean, you mentioned the documentary, but also, as you pointed out, that your son doesn't know me from the video game, but a lot of kids do.
Yeah.
A lot of kids do know me from the video game.
That was me.
And so, or, they know me from, whatever else I've done after my career. And that part is very interesting. I mean, it's not something that I necessarily had planned at the time. At the end of my career, when I retired, just kind of something that's happened. You can maybe thank my agent sitting over there. He keeps me pretty busy doing stuff post retirement or post playing days, but it's honestly, like, it's pretty cool to have your career just live on in that way.
Yeah.
And because when I retired, I mean, and I don't know how new the Madden game was at that point.
Yeah.
We weren't thinking we'd be sitting here, 20, 30 years later, and generations of kids know of you through, things like that. So it is, and I think I like to think that kids see me in a positive light.
Yeah.
And that, because again, I remember sort of being influenced by certain players who played the game, whether it was Roger Staubach or someone like that, or Kenny Stabler, or or the guys that I mentioned before, Walter Payton, just being sort of set on a certain course by seeing certain people you looked up to. You can never really put a price on that, and when I met Walter Payton, he was the guy, he ran up and almost tackled me, right? Just because he was excited, and he was just that kind of guy, though.
Yeah.
Walter was.
Yeah.
Everybody said so many great things like
Walter
that.
was just that kind of guy. And I'm surprised that I wasn't able to, avoid him. I couldn't avoid Walter, but he ran up to me and hugged me. But just guys like that, to be able to meet them, and one, he was such a great guy. And so I'm glad, just looking back, that I was, looking up to someone like him. And so to answer your question, yeah, I mean, it's remarkable to be able to have that kind of impact on generations of kids who didn't see you play but know of you in other ways after your playing days.
Do you think a lot of this has to do with maybe where social media, where the streaming service space is? Because, like, during your career, you didn't do a lot of media stuff. You weren't the person that seemed very engaging. Like, you were just more to yourself, and that's fine. But do you think this era, what has helped you, like, soften all of that? Do you think it's because of the space, or, like, what is it? I just would like to know myself personally.
Yeah, I think for me, it's something I try to get more comfortable with over years, and even with, like, social media, it's something that I didn't grow up with it, but
Right.
post career, it's just ever present. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. So, my kids, they've grown up with it, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a certain, I've kind of adopted it to some degree, and because of that, but yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, it's just kind of especially this generation of athlete, it's just second nature to them, and they, hopefully they balance it well, and you take guys like, I mean, you take the biggest athletes, whether someone like LeBron or whatever. I mean, they understand the value of it, right? And they use it in a certain way, you know. And so yeah, for me, I've tried to come along. You know, I know I'm a little slow with it, but I've tried to come along with it, and I think for the most part, it's a net positive.
I think I know. I mean, we've been blessed to play in this. I played my 13. You played what, 10, 12,
Doesn't matter.
13, whatever. You've been blessed. You played double digits. You played a long time. We've all been blessed. We got thousands and thousands of snaps.
Doesn't matter, man.
We got thousands of snaps on us, and I'm pretty sure I could tell you like my number one favorite play of my career. Does Barry Sanders have a favorite play?
Anytime we played the Bears, you know,
I love
you
it.
know, right?
I love it. Come on, tell me that.
No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
Tell me that, Barry.
I was like, I want to know because I wasn't out there.
Right.
I wasn't out there.
No, but the play that I think about a lot is my first run from scrimmage.
Okay.
My first run, just because.
And what team was that? Who
we were playing the Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
I think they had just moved. I think they had just moved from St. Louis, but Arizona Cardinals, 1989, September, whatever. I had set out of camp, right? I missed all the training camp. I signed the Wednesday or Thursday before the first game, so I wasn't supposed to play. And Coach Fonz said, "Well, we'll put you in your uniform, just so the fans can see you, whatever, you know." And because hadn't had any plays, and so during the game, it was I guess around, I don't know, the end of the third quarter or something like that. I mean, he asked me, did I want to go in the game? And I was like, yeah, I'll go in. And so they just showed me, they showed me a few plays on the sideline. And I go in, and my first run was for like 17 yards or something like that. They always show it. And that was like, the start of my NFL career. That's the one that, it was, yeah. So, and the fans just woke up in the Silverdome. I mean, they just went crazy.
They just woke up.
Because, well, it was, to that point, it was kind of a, boring game, honestly, mm-hmm. And so, yeah. So there's that one. There's one in the playoffs against the Cowboys.
Of course.
Where it's kind of an off-tackle play to the right, and kind of go into a crowd and bounce off of one of their guys and keep running for a touchdown. And that was my only playoff win during that game, and really kind of before that Cowboy dynasty.
Right.
So there's that one. So, yeah.
Did you know that the one D lineman, I don't even remember who it was, the one that kind of like gave up on the play, he was kind of just chilling, and then all of a sudden you're like running right by him?
No.
Like, did you see any of that? Like what stood out?
I think that was Tony Casillas.
Yeah, it's okay. Good. Yeah, it was. So,
yeah.
like, did you, like, when you're doing all these things, are you seeing the small little how slow is the game for you?
That's what
as you're
how slow
breaking
is
down, boom, you make guys run into each other. The one versus the Patriots where you got
That's
them
my
going
favorite
this way,
play.
then he goes back this way. Like, are you just doing this, like, playing with these people? Like, how are you doing this? Like, tell me this. How slow is this for you when all these things are going on? What details do you see?
It's interesting because it was always, going back and watching it, right? Right. Going back and watching it always looked kind of different, right? Because you never really know how it looks because everything happens so fast. I don't know that I can say the game slowed down.
Okay,
I guess that's
good.
I guess that's a good way to put it. But I think being young, being athletic. And just for me, I just always felt like I was a natural runner, mm-hmm. right? And being able to sometimes put defensive guys in a bad situation,
right.
However you want to call it.
That's nicely put. Thank you.
You like that?
I appreciate that. That's very nice.
I mean, as you know, it's mutual. It goes both ways, right?
It does.
It does. But and so yeah, I think. But that was the thing that was always for me sort of interesting is that you're not seeing every detail. So no, mm-hmm. during that run, I don't recall seeing Tony necessarily react the way that he did.
Yeah, he was chilling, bro. He was chilling.
Right. Yeah.
Literally chilling. Is there ever a thought when you make a move on a guy? Like I've seen, I mean, your entire highlight reel is you just going one way and bouncing this way and going that way. In your mind, are you like, oh, got him. Yeah, I'm finna get him right. Oh, yep, got him too. Ha. Keep going. Oh, got him too. Like, do you ever think that? Because I know when I would come up for attack and I was like, oh, I'm finna get him to business. He ain't looking. I'm finna, and I just, you tee off into a guy or whatever. And was there ever any thought process in that when you were playing?
Process, like, I'm making this guy look
I'm
bad.
making this
guy.
like, whoa.
Not really.
Because I know for me, there's a couple times I was like, I'm finna punch the shit out of him.
Because it's happening, to me, I feel like it's happening so fast. It's happening so fast that I'm not necessarily thinking that. Now, yeah, I'm definitely trying to give him, whatever.
Yeah, the business.
But because I mean, the great thing about highlights, right, is that they show all your great plays, I mean, I did, believe it or not, I did have some negative ones, so.
They don't ever show those.
They never show, yeah, exactly.
I got some numbers for you. I'm gonna talk to you about that a little bit later.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
Go for it.
No,
Go for
okay.
it right now.
No, not right now. I gotta pick it up.
I got one for you. Did you know that you were one touchdown away from 100 when you retired?
When I retired, did I know that?
Yeah.
No.
If you would have known that, do you think that would have changed?
Oh Lord, don't make the whole city Detroit. The whole city's about to riot.
So this question is coming strictly from our producer. So I'm gonna throw that out there. But do you think if you would have known you were one away from 100, you would just
would that have changed things?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't. It's funny because when I first saw that, then I just thought about the few times that runs got called back.
Yeah.
For like stupid holding penalties, whatever the case may
I
be.
got you.
Or a lot of times, sometimes they would take me out on goal line situations, and bring in like the heavy package, whatever, So, but no, I don't know that I would have. I probably would not have hung on for another year.
Yeah.
Just because of that, for that very reason. So
Does that actually?
I think 99 is pretty good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
think it's
99
great.
rushing touchdown. That's not bad.
That's
not bad.
That's great. Do you
And
run
they could have, and actually Roger Goodell, he could have just given me the extra touchdown. You just add it to the record.
He still could. He still can. Just call him up on the phone. I think he still can. Does that actually piss you off though when you do all the? I ain't gonna say you do all the work, but when you do you carry a lot of the load and you take it down on the goal line and they're like, all right, and pull you out and then bring another guy in. Does that kind of like, God dang it, we got this close. Let me just go on and finish it.
Sometimes I would have definitely lobbied. I feel like maybe I could have lobbied a little harder to stay in, but I can't complain. But yeah, so in the moment, yeah, sometimes you had that feeling.
You can complain. It's okay.
Yeah.
You've earned the right to complain.
You know what? Talking about complaints. This is something that's
Off the cuff.
completely off the cuff.
Where are we going?
Fullback versus no fullback. This was like a huge thing for Barry Sanders' career. Everybody had, Emmitt Smith had Moose. Everybody talked about how great Emmitt was. That's who everybody compared you to all the time at the time. He had a fullback, you didn't. What was the benefit? Did you want a fullback? Tell me the benefits and the negatives.
Or pros and cons.
Yeah, well,
Whatever.
Well, if you're talking about pros, then I would say, yeah. If you're saying give me Moose Johnson,
Okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
give me Moose.
Okay, got it.
Give me Moose.
Definitely over
Tom
There
Rathmans,
was only
Tom
one of those.
Rathman,
Yeah, I love Tom Rathman too.
guys like that. But I don't think even like we had a guy. He wasn't necessarily well known like those guys. But his name is Corey Schlesinger.
Yep, I remember Corey
Nebraska.
from Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
He was a good blocker. Yeah, but everybody's not those guys, right?
Yep.
So it really kind of depends on that. It depends on, obviously, when you think about Moose, you also, look at the offensive line, like
Right.
Nate Newton and all those guys.
It's a lot of things. Yes.
Yeah. But I grew up playing that brand, right, with a fullback. Dotting the I type formation. So that's something that I would have been comfortable with, with under right circumstances.
Okay, all right. I just remember this very vividly. They used to always talk about, well, Barry Sanders didn't want a fullback because you guys were more of a single.
run and shoot. And all that,
run and shoot.
Yeah.
So it was just a different style. And it, I just always wanted that. And it just came to my head. I'm like, dude, that's not in the thing. But I wanted to know that because that was something they always talked about when I was watching the games was the fullback versus Barry Sanders was like kind of one of the few running backs at the time that was just one single running back.
Yeah. I mean, my first year, and I had so many different offensive coordinators, but my first season, it was a guy named Mouse Davis. And I think Mouse Davis, and then maybe the name June Jones. You may know,
Yeah, I remember June Jones. Yep.
Both of those guys kind of
June Jones was definitely a run and shoot guy.
Absolutely, yeah. They were at the forefront of like the whole run and shoot philosophy and offense, and so that's what we did. So that was a change for me, right? Coming out of college because I had a fullback in college, and so the whole run and shoot thing, that was I was just learning it myself when I got to Detroit. I had never heard about it, So, but to answer your question, I mean, run and shoot was good for certain things, but not having a tight end, it just felt like, the ends were like naked. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like someone needs to be over here. On the edge.
I feel you.
But I feel like I think defenses were still trying to figure it out too, right?
Right.
So there were certain advantages to it. But make it long. But again, to answer your question, yes, I would love to have Moose Johnson in front of me.
There we go. That's the question. I'm glad that your birthday comes every year. But I think it was really good this year because, you just recovered from your health situation. So what does it mean? Do you take a little bit more advantage of it?
Yeah, the last year, I mean, last year, June of 24, right, June 14th, I believe it was, had like a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, this was a special birthday.
Yes.
Getting, and, just really learning about heart disease and learning, meeting other people who's had different struggles. Mine could have been much worse. But yeah, so just understanding like, different risk factors and just becoming aware of that, and really meeting people who, some people have hereditary factors that play into it. It's not like they could really do anything about it, and so. But for me, it's been a real education, and it's been great because just understanding, just things like what a heart healthy workout is, and that kind of thing, and incorporating that into my life, doing more walking, and so it's been very beneficial in a lot of ways. Just so yeah. To answer your question, it's been the year, the birthday. I didn't do a big birthday bash, but it was significant just because of what happened last year. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I saw you're working on another documentary, Making of a Heart Attack, and that's where you come in with some other people to talk about the same things you talked about, where you discuss having some, your stroke and discovering the hidden secrets of
a heart attack, not a stroke.
A heart attack. But I think others that had some other complications.
Yeah.
And so you
heart
guys
attack and stroke are closely tied.
Yeah.
And there was the Making of a Heart Attack documentary that I was a part of, and really just talking about my story, but also the story of really just other individuals who, some of the things that some of these individuals have just been able to fight through, right? Come out on the other side of, and just be really staunch advocates for, is really amazing. And so, it's been, to me, it's just been a real sort of education. And, I know we're going to help a lot of people, just because so many of us don't understand and don't know what a lot of those risk factors are. And so it gets into, just whether it's your diet or whether, having those conversations with your doctor about, about bad cholesterol.
Yep.
And what you can do to lower it, and starting as early as possible and all that stuff. But I was excited to be a part of that, just because to me, those stories of those individuals really just have just a very powerful, and we all, it's funny because none of us, were, when we first had certain symptoms, was thinking heart attack. right?
Right.
So that's how deceptive it can be, and that's why I think it's a great information piece for a lot of people. So yeah, it was great to be a part of that.
Well, you always say it though, and when you're affected by something,
You become an advocate.
you
for
become an advocate for it. So my daughter, she had a heart transplant.
Oh wow.
Knew nothing about hearts, knew nothing about heart disease or anything like that. And today actually is her 17th heart day of all days. But I became an advocate for transplants or organ donation because she received one, and learning about it and just kind of educating myself and the public and letting people know, like, yo, it's actually a good thing, and it is a great thing to be an organ donor, and just educating yourself ultimately is what I did. Now I'm a huge advocate for organ transplants and being a donor and just everything about the heart, kind of educating myself. And I mean, I was really into Google, looking up these
Right.
crazy words that I had no idea how to spell. What I want to ask
It
you,
doesn't get any more serious than that, than the heart.
no,
I
you
mean,
only got
wow.
one.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You
Yeah.
only got one. How are you feeling today right now? How's your health right now?
I feel
today?
good. Yeah,
Like, real
feel good. I was able to, get some good treatments from the doctors and really get good plan going forward.
Yeah.
Right. And just being, I had to lose a little weight. I probably could, lose maybe 5 or 10 more pounds. But just really understanding how to move forward after it and lower those risk factors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel really good.
Was there ever a moment where you were in the hospital, you were just like, damn, I just had a heart attack. Like, I gotta get my life together. I gotta switch some things up. Was that one moment, like an epiphany, was just like, holy shit, this is not cool. I really need to be here for my family, my kids, my, friends. What was there ever that moment for you where you just had to sit there and just kind of take a step back and just like really process what had happened?
It sounds like you were there, man, with me. It sounds like you must have been there, because no, for sure. Because I went in and I just had like this little mild kind of burning in the middle of my chest. I wasn't thinking heart attack, and so when they said those words, I was like, wow, are you serious? And I was there for like 3 days at the hospital. So that gave me a lot of time to just reflect, like, wow, I mean, how is this possible? Right. I mean, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't someone who, my weight wasn't far out of control or whatever, and then, just other habits or whatever. And so I certainly had those moments. But like I said, there's a lot I learned that I could be doing, as far as being more active in the right way.
Right.
And cutting back on certain things. And even like, with certain medications, you may have to go on, to lower your bad cholesterol. So, because I was in my mid 50s. So, I mean, that's certainly the age where certain things start to change, things happen, whatever. And I'm fortunate enough that I was able to have that experience, but also really move on in more, normal kind of regular way, as far as it not having lingering effects, in my daily life, So, but yeah, I absolutely had those kind of moments where I was reflecting, like, wow, I mean, how is this possible? How did I get here where it's this serious of a condition, that brought about something like this? So absolutely.
Barry, tell me this, man, and I hope you can share a really good story or maybe some insight, because we all go through something at some point in life. And for somebody like you where, dude, some of us look at you as like invincible or Superman. You weren't hurt a lot. Nobody ever could hit you. And all of a sudden, something like a heart attack is the thing that slows you down, or is the one that's going to trip you up. How do you not go into this place of blaming or why, woe is me? And you look at it as like, oh no, well, this is what I could be doing. How, maybe give some of our viewers or our listeners a perspective into that from your eyes, from your view of Barry Sanders, the great, and then how I'll bounce back from something like this.
Well, for me, I guess it always comes back to like your perspective, whatever. But I realized I mean, I realized that although it was something very serious that happened, but there's also things you could do to prevent it, to help prevent it, to lessen your chances of it happening again. Even some of the individuals that I met through the Making of a Heart Attack documentary, seeing just what type of advocates they are, right, and how fierce of advocates they are, and getting the word out, right, but also just back to my own case, just understanding that I wasn't a heart attack or a stroke is one of those things where it happens every 40 seconds or something like that, and sometimes you don't get a chance, right? You don't get a second chance, right? And so for me, I guess my outlook is, I'm here, I'm alert, I don't have sort of lingering effects. I mean, I know people who suffered a heart attack or stroke, and it takes years to get back, right? And so, these are very serious things, and if you can live to tell about it, and talk about it, and those kind of things, you're really fortunate. And so that's kind of how I see it. I mean, like you said, people may see me as invincible. Obviously, I understand that I'm not invincible. I mean, like I said before, I'm mid 50s. I'm not 20 years old anymore. And so yeah. I mean, so that's kind of how I see it. That like it's a great chance to get the word out about something that hopefully other people can help prevent. And it happens far too often. I think also just, I was really supported and embraced by family. My mom she's still here.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, for me, I know I have a lot to live for.
Yeah.
And look forward to. And so I didn't. And so that was more, my perspective that let me see what I can do to get better. And to improve my own situation, and also, maybe help others, to see if I could maybe help them prevent, the same thing from happening.
Are you still working with the Lions as an ambassador?
Yes.
I mean,
I am.
You've got to be the best ambassador for them. How are you enjoying that? How did that come about? I mean, because you kind of walked away. Now you're back as the ambassador.
It's been great. I mean, last night went to dinner with Calvin Johnson and a few other like season ticket holders, right? And so that's like heavy lifting for an ambassador, right? I mean, that's that's the work that I get to do, right? So a nice, like, it was a dinner at a really nice restaurant, and it was paid for by someone else.
Tough job.
So, tough job. So it's a real tough job. Tough job.
Next time you need some help, call me. I got you. If
I need an assistant,
tag team,
absolutely.
please. I will be your assistant.
Give me a call. But no, it's been great. It's been great. Just being around the team and Lions fans, and just seeing like what has happened with the team over the last couple of years. And after going through so many dark years and tough years.
I mean, they brought all y'all back for the playoffs.
Thanks to Peanut and some of his games. Lions tough, painful.
I mean, they had all you guys back for the playoffs.
Absolutely.
It was great, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think what I appreciate, and I know we're in the same division, I was rooting for Detroit so hard. I really wanted. I'm telling you, I was. I mean, we weren't winning. We weren't playing well.
Right.
But I just love what the head coach has done for the team, and it really brought the city together. And you could see it. You could see it in the stands, on TV, in the crowd. I wasn't like physically there, but you could actually feel it. Like, man, this is. It was really beautiful to see. And I never even felt that when I played. in Detroit. Like I never feel like they just.
But there's a reason why you didn't feel it when you played. But honestly, like that city and community, like, was so thirsty for a winner, right? And you feel that. You feel that when you go to the games, and
I was so happy for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, because there's still like those few people around who talk about, like, the late 50s and the championships, and that's like the thing that they can hold on to, right? But it's always been like a really serious and great football town, right? We just didn't necessarily live up to it on the field,
right?
There's always been that support, and those people who they love all the other sports, and we're proud of the fact that University of Michigan won a championship a couple years ago, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you got serious Lions fans, and you saw that during the draft, even. Just the way people came out and supported. So
I work with one. He know everybody on the roster.
Is that right?
Like, he's from Detroit. He's like, bro, like, he know all the people on the roster. He doing the draft reports. They're all in. I agree. I did not know Detroit had such good fans until I got to go up there, and now, and now that they're winning, they're all outside too.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I mean? You know how it is. Like, they can't wear their Detroit stuff for like 8 years, and all of a sudden now they're like, shoot. I mean, it still fits.
I saw a whole bunch of Axel Foley Lions jackets.
Yeah.
That's I mean, they came out. They all came out to support.
It's funny because that you see you're talking about the apparel, which you're seeing the apparel around town, but you're also seeing like vehicles, like Ford F-150s with the Lions painted logo on the side and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's
all back.
It's sure, it's all back. Absolutely.
I want to read a quote from 1988. Where we at? Okay. I see myself. So a lady asks you, where do you see yourself 20 years from now? And you quickly respond and say, I see myself happily married and being a strong Christian. I see myself having 4 or 5 kids, living in a middle class neighborhood with a steady job. Now, 1988, Barry Sanders said that.
Wow.
How would you say you've lived your life to this point in time right now?
I would say I've lived, pretty close to that. I've lived pretty close to that.
Can you expand upon that a little bit?
I mean, I think just, growing up in church, right? And so, having those values is being important.
Right.
The marriage part, I mean, I was married for, 10 years or 12 years, something like that. And then the 4 or 5 kids, right? I have 4 sons. I said that in 88, huh? Wow.
88.
That's crazy.
2025, Barry laughing at that. But it kind of like, man, not bad.
Wow. Okay.
Shout out to the producer. That was his. He did the research on that one.
That's
Thomas.
pretty good. Wow.
That's a good one.
He also did the research on the birthday too. But we're going to keep it moving. All right.
Damn, you didn't have to throw him under the bus.
But you shouldn't have praised him. Go ahead. Go ahead, Barry. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that was it. I think, so I think of, so I'm glad I was thinking, I like how the 20-year-old Barry was thinking, so I think that's pretty mature, level-headed way to think about it. And so to go through 10 years of the NFL and now 25 years of retirement, so I like it.
All right, Barry, we'd like to ask all of our guests this. Give us a whole rounded perspective. Who's on your personal Mount Rushmore of influence? You get 4. Who has made
personal
Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Only 4. That's it.
Influence.
Yes.
Only 4.
That's made Barry Sanders who Barry Sanders is.
I would love to hear my dad's comment about this one. Wow. So my dad, he's definitely on there.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
Jim Brown's his favorite running back, right?
Jim Brown is his favorite, right? Which, but that's a whole other deal. Wow. And if I put my dad on there, then I have to put my mom on there, right?
Or you can put him at
you can put him as 1.
It's like, we've had people do that too.
Do what now?
You can put them as 1.
That mom and dad together.
Mom and dad is 1.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Also, I would have to put my high school coach Dale Burkholder
Okay.
on there, right? Because he's the one that moved me from kind of slot to running back. You know, he was like, I think that Sanders kid's a running back, not a defensive back or a wing back.
Was this
I
in
think
high school?
He was in high school.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah, my senior year in
wing
high
back
school.
at the time was
Wing back.
Was this like
Kinda
a
like
triple
slot.
option?
Kind of like slot. Kind of
Okay.
like slot. You know, kind of like tight end slot.
Okay.
You know, you're in the same position as a tight end, but you're off the line type thing. So I was doing a lot of blocking and running routes, which I thought I was a pretty good defensive back, and wing back.
Yeah.
We could be the judge
But
of
coach-
that. Show me some film. I could tell you if he was a DB. I'll be the judge of that.
Right. And so Coach Burkholder. So what's that, 2?
Yes,
That's
too.
2.
Wow. Man, that's I need a little while to think about this one. Coach B, and then I don't know. After that, I mean, there's so many that I could choose from.
Well, good.
How
You
about,
get 2.
how about Tony Dorsett?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I was, saying how, and that, I feel like all 4 of them could be running backs, on the list, but certainly Tony Dorsett, just because that young Barry, drawing those pictures of football men, just that ton of passion that I have for the game and
Yeah.
interest in the players and following them. So I'll put Tony Dorsett up there, and then maybe Michael Jordan.
Nice.
Right, Michael Jordan, just because, just fierce competitor.
Yeah.
Love, just following his career and just, the influence he had, just his approach to the game, right? And obviously how successful he's been in business. So since you guys are twisting my arm for then I'll have those for today, for right now.
That's a good.
Have
4.
you ever got to meet Michael Jordan or
Yeah, I've been-
hang around?
I never really hung around with him like that, but
Okay.
like golf events.
Yes.
That he used to have in Bahamas. Met him there.
I met him there once.
He actually came when we played the Bears once, early '90s. He had a teammate
Okay.
that was from Wichita State named
Okay.
Cliff Livingston. So Cliff brought him to the locker room. That was the first time I would have met Mike.
Okay.
And so we just chatted for a few minutes during whatever year that would have been, early '90s in Chicago. That would have been the first time I met him. But then the next time would have been at his golf tournament in Bahamas.
Now I know Rome asked you earlier about, was there another like running back or whatever? Was there ever like, you're Barry Sanders, you were at the creme de la creme of like top athletes. Is there or was there ever a celebrity where you was like, I got to meet him, I got to meet her? Was there ever a celebrity, actor, rapper, entertainer, someone that you just like, no, I got to meet this person?
Saying that I have to like go out of my way to try to meet
Well,
this
not
person.
go out of my way, but just
Yeah.
like, no, I'm really a fan of, I'm a just example. Like, I'm a really big fan of Denzel Washington. Like, I would love to meet Denzel, movie premiere, whatever. Like, I really want to go meet this individual. Not really go out of your way, but just like, I'm excited to meet a Denzel, something along those lines.
I mean, not necessarily like that. I mean, there's been people that I've been excited to meet, right?
Okay.
Like, for instance, when we, in college, they used to have like All-American teams. I think it was the Bob Hope All-American team.
Okay.
Right? I don't know
Yeah.
if you guys know that name, but that
I remember
there was,
Bob
there
Hope,
was
yeah.
no bigger name in Hollywood
Yeah.
than Bob Hope. And so he used to have a show
Yeah.
that he would do, right? And he would announce all the All-Americans. And so doing the Bob Hope All-American show
Yeah.
was huge. And meeting Bob Hope,
Yeah.
he was older then, right?
Yeah.
But he was he was a comedian, actor. Most of his stuff is in like black and white, but there was no bigger star than
That is so that's crazy.
If they do the research, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure someone
I've
here
seen
knows about
I've seen
Bob
some
Hope.
of his
Someone
movies
knows
and
about Bob
shows.
Hope.
Yeah, I know who
But
Bob
yeah,
Hope is.
so-
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got a couple quick hitters. I want to run down these quick hitters real quick. 'Cause,
You got it. Hit away.
good.
Swing away.
Did you ever dish out trash talk?
No.
I didn't think so.
Because John Randall, I've seen him on tape. He will always be yelling name. Hey Barry. Hey Barry. Like, did you ever respond?
I may have responded. But I wasn't. It wasn't. But John said so much.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
what I'm
always
saying.
talking.
Like he was
John
always
was
talking.
always talking.
He's still talking.
Do you just
Absolutely.
laugh like it's like, dude, this guy, like you're lining up to run the ball, and he's just barking from in a 3-point stance from across the line of scrimmage. Have you met anybody else in that realm of that?
Charles Haley.
Really?
Charles Haley. Yeah,
Nobody talks about Charles.
Charles
No,
is
they
crazy,
don't.
man.
Really?
No,
Give
like
me a good
officially
one.
crazy. Like,
Well, I heard that
Yeah,
part,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like I mean the trash talk part.
well, just like, but he would be talking to the linemen.
Yeah.
You know, about how sorry they were. You know what I mean?
Talking reckless to
He's
them.
gonna run through them all day. You know what I mean? Talking to the quarterback. I mean, yeah, Charles Haley. He was that guy.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like John. I couldn't even understand all the stuff John was saying, right?
Okay.
And he'd have
We didn't either.
Yeah, and he'd have his face painted with some kind of Native American. I don't know what it was, but yeah, those were probably the biggest two talkers that I ran into.
Oh wow, okay.
I figured he was gonna say no. Even Calvin Johnson said he wasn't a trash talker.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Did you know that you had the most carries in your career the last season of your career?
I think I had seen that before. I think I'd seen that.
Okay. This is another one I have for you. Out of all the NFL records that you held, I don't know if you still hold them all, but when you retired, all right, which one do you think will be the one that will never be broken? Is it seasons with 1,500 yards rushing or more, which is 5, consecutive games with 100 yards rushing, or more yards rushing, 100 yards or more rushing, that's 14. All right. Games with 100 yards or more rushing in a season, it's 14. 150 plus yard rushing games in a career, 25. 150 plus scrimmage yards per game, 46. I think somebody's already tied this, but first running back that you were the first to have 2 80-yard runs in one game. But this is the last one. Most negative yards rushing in a career with minus 952 yards. So you talk about the highlight plays, the lowlights, minus 952 yards. Which
That's like a
will
whole
never
season.
be broken.
That's like a whole season right there. Wow.
Okay.
Man.
Which of those you think will never be broken?
I think the most challenging one, negative 900 yards. That's hard. It would be hard to beat that one. I think it'd be hard to beat that.
I was hoping you picked that one.
I was like, God dang, that's
Coming from a defensive guy, you like that one. Huh? You like
did.
that stat, huh?
Well, I always remember, like, when I would watch your games, they would have, like, sometimes the negative yards that you had, but then your ultimate total, you have negative 20-something. But I guess, like, just over time, I don't think I realized it was almost a whole 1,000 yards negative in rushing yards throughout your career. It's just crazy because all you ever tell people now, especially around my little flag kids when I'm playing, is like, just get upfield. Just get upfield.
Right.
fall forward.
Just get upfield. And all of them want to cut back like Barry. And it's minus, they're not you. So it's really interesting. I didn't know that stat. So that was just really cool when I was doing some stuff. That's
So they haven't added on. You don't think they've added on a few yards to that one, huh? The negative.
in front of your face. Yes, I think they added on. I think they totally added on. Thank you. I'm done. I'm off the hot seat.
You are off the hot seat. We appreciate you coming on the pod and just blessing us, and appreciate the stories and everything you told us. I'm glad you're feeling better. Happy belated birthday. Yeah.
Is it? That's it? It's already?
That's all
That's
we
easy, man.
Okay.
Who's your favorite running back to watch in the NFL right now? If you don't have a favorite,
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Detroit. That boy's electrifying.
Well, Saquon's been around longer, obviously.
Yeah.
So with the year Saquon had last
What'd you
year,
think about that jump?
Just phenomenal.
The backward jump when he jumped over the
It was
dude.
amazing. It was amazing.
Have you seen anybody do that before?
No, nothing.
Okay,
quite
so that's
like
the first
that.
time you've
Nothing
seen
quite
that
like
too.
that. No, not like leaving the turf like that. No, that was sweet. Man.
Oh, that's
That
another
was
thing.
sweet.
You
Yeah.
never really did that. Did they not teach y'all to jump over guys? Because a lot of guys jump now.
Oh, I was like, wait, who teaches you how to
I
jump over
always
people
thought-
backwards?
I feel like it was almost coached that it was you can't jump.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't jump.
I think jumping's a new thing now.
I don't know if you remember Billy Sims running and jumping and kicking someone, right? He jumped, he was running,
I don't
and
remember
he
this.
jumped and he like kicked this defensive guy in the helmet, you know. But I always thought you couldn't do that. But anyway, no, it was a phenomenal play by Saquon. And I'm not like a high hurdler, so I don't know how high I would have been able to get over a guy. So that may not have been good. But yeah, no,
I mean, you was dunking at 91. You got some hops. You was
But you know what? I feel like I was always, when you leave the turf like that, I feel like you give that defensive guy a chance to just pop you, like was always what I thought. If you jump, but no, it was a beautiful play by Saquon.
And how did you get involved with that celebrity dunk contest?
Well, they used to do that every year. It was called the Foot Locker Slam Dunk Fest, and it was televised, right?
Yeah,
so a lot of so obviously they would get guys from all different sports other than basketball, obviously, right? And so no, it was fun, man. It was fun to go there and. You'd have like these great pickup games with all these guys like Barry Bonds, and because everyone, fashioned themselves as a hooper, right?
Everybody's not a basketball player. We all hoop.
Right? Yeah, no, everyone fashioned themselves as a hooper, So you would get some really competitive, like Dion and guys like that. You get some really competitive pickup games, but the dunk contest, yeah. I mean, and the coolest part was that it was judged by. Like these older NBA guys, like Wilt Chamberlain, Calvin Murphy, and just some of those old like 60s, 70s NBA players.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, yeah, you definitely off the hot seat.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
This was a whole lot of fun.
It was.
Glad it worked out, man.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Same here, man. Thank you, man. Thanks to all of our viewers too. I know you guys are gonna love this episode. Wherever you pick up your podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, make sure you give us a like, subscribe, hit that follow button, leave a couple comments. We'll make sure we respond. You can also check us out on the NFL Pages YouTube channel. And Peanut, man, get us up out of here, man.
I'm Peanut, that's Roman, and that is Barry Sanders, and this
Barry Sanders
is the NFL Players Second Acts Podcast, and we out.